Hello, guys. How we doing tonight? I have made a decision to switch some things off. So, to fix all of the random sound issues and bugs that are pissing me off now, we'll be doing camera in Discord, and it will not be recorded. So, if you want to see my pretty face, well, you have to be in Discord. How does that sound? Whoa. Discord is making me very bright though. Let me go switch up some stuff. Why am I so bright? There we go. That's a little bit better. How about we just do auto? Auto works great. Low light compensation, that doesn't do shit. All right. I'm doing great, Justin. Thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. I'm not gonna lie to you all. It has been a very rough day. So I don't know how it's been for you guys, but I know for myself, it's been a very rough day. No trade for you. Well, that's doing better than I did. It wasn't too well for me. But looking back, I should have done good. Truth is, sometimes it's very hard for me to hold a trade in consolidating conditions. I like to get out and then take another trade. And that often leads to bad result. Sometimes it works out great. Sometimes, like today, it doesn't work out too great. So that's what I'm going to showcase. But from a daily perspective, we did exactly what we wanted to see. Don't know if you guys remembered, but actually, if you were there, of course, in yesterday's monthly outlook, right, where we also looked at the weekly outlook at the same time, I actually gave my insight about what I'm going to be looking for on Monday. And I was going to look for bearish overnight movement, large pre-market expansion, New York Open retracement continuation. That is exactly what I was looking for. And I mean, Monday NFP, predictable as it is, did exactly that. We had an overnight expansion lower. Then we had a nice run higher. New York Open happened. Basically, we had a run higher to previous day high, which formed a retracement followed by a continuation. Now, this retracement did not stop at the first discount and efficiency here. We completely invalidated this order block, but that doesn't mean our whole idea is invalid, because as you can see here, we took out this liquidity while forming SMT before these key points. Let me put the crosshair back. Forming key SMT right here just after New York Open. This is a beautiful, beautiful indication to go long. Right, you retraced in a discount. If we look at the daily structure, you have your manipulation lower, distribution higher. So you can understand, well, you can frame that this move is just a retracement for a continuation higher. Now, just looking at it on a 15-minute chart, it doesn't look so bad. But this was pretty much an hour, almost an hour and a half of pure consolidation after this 10 a.m. swing was formed. So we'll go look at it. Definitely was some opportunities, just some harder one for me, especially to grasp. I also plotted the new week opening gap, which is just the new day opening gap from today as well, if you prefer that specifically. I like to use it on days like this when we're trading close to it. How do I use it? Well, I'm on my 15-minute chart and I look at how we close in relation to these levels. So for example, closing above here and not being able to close below this 25% gives you a great indication for a continuation higher towards clear objectives, like in this case, what was this? That was, I guess we can say, opening range high, honestly, if we want to make it simple. Why do I have historical? I was back testing a little bit. Let's actually just do 0. Let's only look at the current day. But definitely was some very nice price action from the 15-minute chart, right? We only had some SMT at previous day high, SMT on both sides. We had our rage with our raid, not our rage, which could indicate a continuation. Of course, both our assets were pretty uncorrelated today. A lot of SMT. which can lead to some higher resistance conditions. Now, in conditions like these, best case scenario is just get the fuck out. It's really that simple. It's just look, take one trade perhaps. If it's a loss, just get out. That's what I should have done today specifically, but we'll go look at it. As I explained, I was bullish here. Well, first off, before this whole move lower, could you frame some shorts? 100%, right? And let me actually go look. I do want to mention, because it is Monday NFP, so we don't really care about the news, but we had 10 a.m. Manufacturing PMI. But when can we trade before news, right? So in this case, we have 10 a.m. news. When can we trade before it? If 9:30 forms a clear Judah swing, confirmed with SMT, previous day high right here. So because of this, you could have looked to short right after the open, pretty much. The only thing that was missing, for me at least, was a breaker block. Now, I'm kind of pissed because I'm seeing that ES actually formed a breaker block. So you could have taken that entry as a valid rise model setup. So quite unfortunate on my side that I missed this, the fact that it was SMT, because I would have been one and done even before the news. So yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I'm pretty salty here. It's part of the game, right? Definitely there, but it does make me a little sad here, because even if we put the indicator here, you'll see in bearish mode, there are no breaker blocks that form up until there. So definitely nothing very interesting at that point. But if you look at ES, you have a beautiful setup here. You have a bearish breaker with that bearish IFVG unicorn. Definitely a very beautiful setup. You can just take the entry on NASDAQ. You guys know that's always how we interact with setups on ES, pretty much. And did we have any SMT at all? Well, I mean, I guess so, because this was not a swing high, but our true SMT was at previous day high, which is this black line you see all the way up here. Now, as per objectives, you guys know, mechanical logic, you'd go on a 5-minute chart here, and you'd see that in this range, you don't really have anything to target. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go down the time frame using the same range, of course, and you're going to find that this bearish breaker block would actually be your partial objective, your first discount in efficiency. Pretty straightforward stuff here. Here, I'll target the volume imbalance, always including my volume imbalances as part of gaps, fair value gaps and such. Where can I do this? There we go. Just making it a little bit clean. So definitely a very nice setup. 2.34R to a potential partial. And then, of course, I mean, what else can we say here? You have beautiful equal lows. Could definitely hold a runner after this level. But once you see all the divergence from ES being so much more bearish and reaching these lows down here, this SMT would definitely be a signal to get out of any potential shorts for me. But I mean, just having one runner left, running it break even, for example, if this was initially a 10 contract position and I only have one left, I'm more than happy risking 10% of my position for a potential continuation lower, invalidating this SMT. This is definitely a risk that I'm willing to take any day, especially with London low, previous day low down here. Very high probability opportunity for sure. So I wouldn't be scared of letting a runner there. But see, I had such a hard day and now I'm just seeing this and it's like textbook trade and I'm kind of pissed. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It would have been one and done, very simple, very straightforward, and you would not have had to take part in any of this constant consolidation. I was looking for my word there. As we can see though, we did have a bullish opportunity after, and of course with the SMT, the clear raid, everything aligned beautifully for long. Now I wish this was a swing high, but it was not. You would have had a beautiful breaker, possibility of entering here. But if we look at this, our first available unicorn is right here, as the indicator showcases, right? Very straightforward stuff. You know what? Let's debug the indicator. Do you guys see any other bullish breaker other than that one, of course, which came after? So we don't want to see it. I do not. I do not see any unicorn before that. Hopefully, I don't get proven wrong here. And then you have inversion fair value gap below, order block, a nice 3PD array stop loss roll, which would have actually led to 2R here. Wow, I am extremely pissed. I got chopped up all the way up in here. This trade I got broken even because I had a little bit of a late entry, and this was nowhere close to 2R. Pretty pissed about that. I'm thinking of adding alerts into the indicator. I don't know if we have a lot of people right now that do have them, but I'm thinking of forming alerts for it that we can actually receive and trade off of. So pretty interesting stuff I'm thinking about here. And once again, actually, I'm seeing this breaker on ES formed a little earlier. Oh no, same candle actually. Yeah, same candle, never mind. Yes, please, alerts. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. But here's the thing. Do you create alerts for a breaker block forming or alerts for a retracement inside a unicorn, right? So many opportunities. You know what? Why not both? And users can choose which alerts they set. Exactly. So, see, that might be something to add for the future. But before adding anything else to that indicator, I got to focus on making some tutorials for it to make sure everything is clear. Enough rambling about the indicators, right? Very clear setup, very nice delivery. Now, of course, if we look at the premium and discount of this range, I'm actually just going to go so that I can actually show you. We go to the 5-minute chart, of course. We look at this first premium and efficiency actually got hit. Was it before your entry or just after? Yeah, before your entry. What does this tell you? Well, very straightforward. I don't have a partial objective. So you can use one or two things. Of course, you can use standard deviations. Let me bring those in. Well, actually, I don't want to see 25 different thousand lines because within consolidation, there are a lot of breakers. But if we bring our standard deviations here, you have a beautiful objective at 2 standard deviations, 1.85R. Nothing more to add here, right? Whenever we don't have clear objectives, we use this. Now, of course, this would only be a partial for me. I would definitely be looking for current high of day, opening range high, AM session high, however you want to call it. I would definitely be looking for that target, especially with the confluence of the 4 standard deviations here. And I mean, it would have worked, right? It would have gotten close to your break even multiple times, but after taking a partial at 2 standard deviations and placing your stops break even, you would have been fine, unless you're dumb like me and you entered late because you were looking at your phone. That's the thing about trading. You got to be locked in. Question about the 928 entry for a long. Would you not have done pre-open because no clear Judas? What do you mean pre-open? On the 928, I never trade before 9:30, no matter what. Our rules are about trading before news. So for example, at 10 a.m., I have a high impact news. The only way I can trade before 10 a.m., which means at 9:30, is if we have a clear Judas swing at 9:30, confirmed with SMT. So see, Judas swing higher, SMT at previous day high, I can look to trade shorts. Awesome. Glad that made some sense. But definitely a very nice setup there. It's just, it took so long to get up there. But after it did, I mean, you had a lot of upside to this move, definitely, right? And I mean, you guys know me. Whenever I have a trending day, and I expected a trending day, I did talk about that before. But for a trending day, I would look to hold until time aligns. So I'm looking at the 4 p.m. candle. I'm looking at the opening price of said candle, and that is my maximum potential, and that is of 6.24R. So see, as much as I had a hard time today, it was not because we didn't have any good setups. It was just because I suck. Does that make it easier to understand? You see, I was chopped up in this, but the truth is, I should have just been in this trade correctly. But since I made a mistake executing wrongly on this trade, I got broken even. And then if you guys want to know, yes, I did try and long right here, I believe. Actually, I think it was this breaker, a breaker here that I tried along. Yeah, off this IFVG, I got stopped out. Before then, I trailed my stop up. So I made a lot of mistakes today. Sorry I was late to the party. I had a question for 10 a.m. long. When do you know or are confident enough to know that price will keep going down and grab all these low resistance liquidity to the downside? SMT is that simple, right? So what gives me the confidence to go long here instead of look for a move like this, right? This is what you're telling me, right? How am I confident here? Well, I have my framework, which is my narrative built off of SMT, taking out liquidity. I'm now looking for continuation of the daily structure that is bullish. So now, what does that mean? Well, I'm looking for a long. Bearish breaker forms, unicorn entry. Is it during the right time? Yes, I take the trade. That's what I always speak of simplicity, right? It's just having a clear system that there is nothing up to you within that. And see, today I mis-executed the system and I lost money. That's the truth. But if I was attentive, I would have made a lot of money. That is the easiest way of putting it. And our daily bias was telling us that the SMT on the highs won't hold. Yeah, basically previous day high SMT here definitely made it lower probability. And the fact that we had SMT at previous day high and also at the lows at this point in time just made it that much more worse, right? So what will you expect in these conditions? High resistance, a lot of fuckery. Like, see, 930 just expanded, what is that, 100 something handles? Yeah, almost 200 handles, and then did the exact same move in the opposite direction, all in the span of, what was this? 30 minutes. Only 1 minute myself, Pimenta. So, see, Alex, it's just, it is not the best open price action we can see. But definitely when you have SMT on both sides like this, it's hard to be confident in any direction. So what do? Don't pick and choose. Don't pick and choose. Just take the first trade that appears to you. And if you were bearish, you had an opportunity. And if you were bullish, you had an opportunity. And if you mismanaged that trade, you probably ended up like me, getting chopped up in this and ending the day in a loss. So if I can bring any what's the word for this? If I can make you guys feel better a little bit, I ended up mismanaging and losing money. So to anyone that made money today, you did better than me. I was so ready for an entry at New York Open, was triggered. Yeah, me too. Definitely. So New York Open, looking for a long would have been very nice. Truth is, it just never retraced into anything, never gave you an opportunity. When I saw this downside movement, I thought, okay, well, look, now at New York Open, we can form a setup and just run to previous day high. We did, without a setup. And without SMT on the lows, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, without SMT on the lows here. So I could not have even traded before the 10 a.m. news in that specific scenario. Can you remind me the reason why you wait for 931 to enter? Yeah, you said it yourself. Slippage, volatility. Very simple. When I put big positions at that time, they get slipped to hell. It might not be like that. It's been a while now that I've been on props. I'm now just restarting actually and haven't had an early trade since then, but I'll definitely test it out next time it happens. Could be different in a simulated environment, but I know that on live, entering right at 9:30 there's a lot of stuff that can happen. Like sometimes you'll see the candle here, but you'll see your PNL as if it was here, or for example, all the way down here still. So that sort of slippage does not interest me. I prefer to be safe rather than sorry. Hopefully that makes some sense. Just notice this. I don't want you below the 15. Other than that, did we have any sorts of PM opportunities? You should have been long. That's it. It's really that simple. And anyways, PM session, I looked to trade 130 lunch rates. There was no lunch rate that would give me a setup to go lower. I would still be bullish. Other than that, I can look for 2 p.m. continuation opportunities off of 2 p.m. power 3. Let me just bring the 2 p.m. open here, looking at the open of the most recent 4-hour candle. I'm of course in replay at this time, by the way, if you guys are wondering. I just feel like it's easier to go in replay mode when reviewing and not look at what is currently going on, especially at the time I do these. But if we look at the 2 p.m. open, yeah, you did have a breaker form at this point in time. Anything interesting on that sense? Not really, right? Not really anything I'd be happy with. Just changing the time filter so that we can look at it. I might add a second time filter here so we can easily have New York AM, New York PM. And for anyone that wants different time filters, that could be a good thing. You guys let me know if that be something you want to see. But as you can see here, oh, I just moved this big. You should have been already long, but the only other setup I would consider would be something in relation to 2 p.m. power of 3. We accumulated. You can see a manipulation here. Definitely something I would consider as high probability of forming the law of the candle. Why is that? Just in relation, the movement in relation to the opening price, right? And let's see, do we have any SMT at all? It doesn't seem like we have any SMT on the lows. Still, I mean, if there's a setup, there's a setup. Here we form bullish breaker. This got invalidated. Can we do this? Let's only look at, well, actually not still, yeah, still valid. So in this case, this would be your first unicorn, it seems like. Because this is before 2 p.m. I wouldn't look at 2 p.m. retrace into a fair value gap. That's not good enough for me. But you definitely would have had an opportunity here. 3P to array stop loss rule brings your stop all the way down here. I mean, you still have some upside, of course, right? If we're just looking at a simple 2R, well, actually, your targets are pretty much the same. Even just holding until 4 p.m., that is exactly that at 2R. So, I mean, this would be a good continuation opportunity. I can't say anything on it, but I hate taking those trades because you should have been in this one. I like to take continuations in the PM when there was no morning setup. If there was a morning setup and I missed it, then that's just me chasing. And now, even though chasing can make me money, right, they are way less successful. Exactly, because it's too far in premium. It's a very aggressive trade all the way up here. And honestly, for me, it's more so of a psychological rule. If I allow myself to chase trades, things like today happen where I just get chopped up trying to chase the expansion that I should just be in no matter what. Like if I was break even here, I would have just closed my charts and went on about my day. And what I like to do is like set alerts here. Now I'm in replay mode here, so I can't do it, but you just right click anywhere on your chart and you'll be able to set and an alert. Well, here, I'll show you guys real quick. See, I just right click on a price level and I can add alert here, price crossing. And so if I'm gone, if I'm on my phone, pretty much I can get my laptop out and I can exit my trades, take profits, set everything whenever we have an alarm. So if this was my target, I'd just place an alarm close to it, just like this. And that's pretty much how I stay hands off with my trades and stuff. Just a little bit of insight into how I manage my positions easily. But just with the fact that we did not go to London low, definitely not something that we can define as a high probability trading day. But even on what I'd like to refer to as shitty days, there are still plenty of opportunities. So definitely a lot of opportunities there. I'm going to start repeating opportunity, and I'm going to ask you guys if you have any final questions before we call it a night here. Pretty straightforward, huh? I mean, we've been here for 25 minutes. A bit of a longer PA review. I ramble quite a bit. Hopefully, you guys aren't bored. I saw nobody left, so that's a good sign. I missed the first setup. Yeah, you'll see it on YouTube, definitely. Came in a bit late. No worries. What do you expect for tomorrow? That's a big question, but I want to see price confirm my swing. Now you'll see a bunch of drawings, which I don't want to remove. Let's just do this. I want to see price confirm this as a swing low. That's straightforward. So what do I want to see tomorrow? I want to see expansion higher. Of course, depending on what the overnight sessions do, I'll interact differently about what I want to see at the New York Open. But generally speaking, I want to see a bullish candle continuing higher. Worst case, we can go lower initially and then NFP brings us higher. But really, I'd like to see us confirm this swing so we can expand towards previous weekly high here. Which if I just bring this guy in, do I have? Oh, I'm looking at the yearly. Let's look at the weekly. Previous week high is indeed there. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I don't know why I brought the indicator, but pretty straightforward stuff there. Hopefully that was clear. On that note, though, guys, I'm going to wish you all a great night. Good luck trading tomorrow. I was searching. And you guys have a great night once again. We're going to end this stream here. Bye, guys.